Welcome back to my channel, you guys. And as you can see, today we don't talk about this topic enough. Poor communication. It affects us in so many areas of our life. Career, advocating for yourself with your boss, working with coworkers, communicating to family, communicating to your intimate partner, but most importantly, communicating to yourself. Let's get into this topic, you guys. Let's get into this topic. First off, poor communication stems from childhood. Okay, I wrote down some notes. It stems from childhood. Either when you did speak, you were dismissed, or when you did speak, your parents or an adult prioritized their feelings over yours to make you feel bad. Those are like the main things that I have experienced, where what's the point of saying anything? They're not going to listen anyway. They're not going to want to understand me anyway. So what's the point? Or, dang, every time I talk about my feelings, they dismiss me of prioritizing their feelings over mine, making me feel bad that I even spoke. Right? Those instances can really impact you and condition you longevity wise of how you communicate to yourself, ignoring certain things about yourself. For example, it can be simply you not telling yourself no when you should be telling yourself yes. It can be you having negative self-talk. Right? Talking to yourself negatively because of the detriment of those encounters and exchanges that you had earlier growing up. It can really impact you. So those things then turn into you suppressing your feelings. Suppressing your feelings. Doing things that you don't want to do, being a people pleaser, doing things that you don't want to do. Ignoring your feelings as well. Because why? Because people ignored your feelings. So then you ignore your own feelings. People pleaser. Why? Coming from the first thing I said, which is when you express yourself to an adult or whoever at a earlier stage of life, they wanted you to make them happy. Right? So then you start noticing that instead of you expressing yourself of your truth, you end up expressing yourself not so truthfully just to make that person happy or just to not cause any ruffles, right? So understand that these things have built you down, have torn you down confidently to speak up, to voice your concerns, to have a I don't give a fuck attitude, right? I don't give a fuck. I care about me and my feelings, right? My feelings come first. Poor communication can be also the reason why you end up in these relationships longer than what you should be, right? Also possibly why you're staying at a job longer than you should be, or you're putting up with things longer than you should be because you don't know how to communicate to yourself the way that you should be communicating to the outside world. Which is no, hell no, I don't deserve that. So it mirrors itself. Another level of poor communication that we tend to have is constantly worrying about if I say this, how would that make that person feel? Right? If I say I can't say this because he or she is going to feel like this or that. Right? And that's the first law is that when you communicate because you're putting your needs first. Then theirs comes second, right? Again, going into that confidence that we lack. Poor communication stems from low self-esteem, low confidence, low valuing, low self-worth, all of that. All right. So those things really do coincide with each other. When we communicate, there's two different types of people. We either communicate and not really express ourselves and just isolate and just let it build and like boil inside of us. Or there's the person that can actually externally say it in a very angry tone, right? In a very aggressive tone when they're upset and communicating, right? Because of the level of like, I need you to hear me. I need you to understand, right? You have people that are very defensive when they speak, to not even listen to you, right? They got to be right? Because there was a time in their life when their parents always told them they were wrong. So they go about their way to tell you that they're not, where they can't even hear you because of the level of conditioning or impact that those events have had on them, where they're unable to even listen, right? Poor communication, a screamer, a suppressor, right? You got people to where they can't even speak. They just throw things when they upset, right? Unable to calm themselves down. Those things are trauma triggers, responses, right? So all of this is to say is that communicating to yourself more. Simple as this. Affirmations. One affirmation for today. I am a great communicator. I know how to express my feelings when I am feeling overwhelmed, when I am feeling unappreciated, when I'm feeling frustrated, when I'm feeling unloved and unsupported. I know how to communicate how I feel to the person, even at work. Okay, it took me a long time. I remember my stepdad always telling me this one thing, because I grew up always unable to communicate to people and expressing them how I feel, being hurt from my friends, just family, just unable to express myself, even in work environments. It's so funny. My dad always told me this. This is one takeaway is, if you was to express yourself, what's the worst? Can they evict you from your house? Do they pay your bills? You know what I'm saying? If you was to express, what's the worst that can happen if you was to express yourself besides you going to bed feeling relieved and at peace, right? That you were able to get that off your chest. Half of the times when we express ourselves, we have all this built up anxiety. In reality, it turned out great. And even if it don't turn out great, the ultimate goal is for you to be able to use your words and actually vocalize what you mean and how you express yourself to the person. Sometimes it's always about how you express yourself to make that other person really hear you. But I think just for beginners and just for beginners and just starting off, just start speaking your truth. Just start standing up for you. Start building that confidence. And if you don't have it, start doing mirror work and begin to affirm what you don't have. If that's a weakness for you, begin to build that up. So again, I wanted to have this conversation regarding us women, having poor communication, which stems a lot from childhood and unable to really have an opportunity without feeling judged or shame or guilty to be able to just vocalize how we felt in those settings, right? And communicate to the ones that we love about that. So we just grew, this unhealthy habit when it comes down to communicating to other people, and we'll build it up and build it up and build it up, and about time we speak, it doesn't even come out right. Again, those are all the tips. Also, another thing that I have here is becoming less emotional when you speak and more logical when you speak. That has helped me as well. Logically, I need to say this because if I don't, ABC is going to happen. I'm going to feel like this again. I'm going to feel like that. Those things have helped me tremendously when being able to have the courage to stand up. And plus, it helps you build your confidence once you begin that step. I think this was a very important topic. Please comment below and think that, if anything that I said was very helpful as well. Please like, subscribe, okay? Comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you again. Welcome to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for joining the topic. As always, I'm sending you love, peace, encouragement, strength. I'm sending you support. I'm sending you vibes, good energy. I'm sending you all of that. I'm sending all of that to you because you need it, and I do too. And again, thank you so much for joining my channel, and I will see you again in the next video.